welcome back to our channel on this beautiful day. We are absolutely thrilled to dive deep into the most explosive, heart-stopping, and emotionally charged updates from Genoa City. The drama has reached unprecedented heights, and the stakes have never been more terrifying or romantic. Grab your favorite beverage, settle in, and let us unpack the monumental shifts that are redefining the landscape for the Winters family. In the sprawling, treacherous, and constantly shifting landscape of Genoa City, there comes a defining moment when a character is forced to cross the proverbial Rubicon. Abandoning every deeply ingrained principle of law, order, and corporate responsibility to answer the primal, undeniable call of family and true love. For Lily Winters, a woman who has spent her entire adult life meticulously building a reputation as a stabilizing, rational, and fiercely intelligent corporate executive at the helm of Chancellor, that monumental point of no return has officially been crossed in the most spectacular, jaw-dropping fashion imaginable. Faced with the agonizing, ticking clock of her biological father Malcolm Winters' rapidly deteriorating health due to severe aplastic anemia, Lily has systematically shed the polish, law-abiding exterior of a CEO. In its place, she has fully embraced the fiery, relentless, and fiercely protective spirit of her late mother, the legendary Drusilla Winters. The stakes could not possibly be higher, as Lily has made the conscious, life-altering decision to prioritize Malcolm's survival over her own freedom, setting into motion a chain of events that will forever alter the power dynamics, family loyalties, and legal boundaries of everyone involved in this catastrophic saga. To truly comprehend the sheer magnitude of Lily's actions, one must first deeply analyze the agonizingly cruel circumstances that pushed her to the absolute brink of sanity. Kane Ashby, the only viable bone marrow match capable of saving Malcolm from certain death, was unjustly stripped of his freedom and thrown into a cold Genoa City Police Department holding cell. This devastating arrest was not the result of Kanoan criminality, but rather the chillingly calculated, ruthlessly executed artificial intelligence framing plot orchestrated by the merciless Victor Newman with the willing, cold-blooded assistance of his daughter, Victoria. The sheer injustice of watching the man who holds the literal cure for her dying father be locked away as collateral damage in a billionaire corporate vendetta ignited an inferno of rage within Lily. She watched as the legal system, manipulated by the Newman Empire, failed her family in their darkest hour of need. The agonizing reality that Malcolm's life was slipping away with every passing second while Kane sat wrongfully imprisoned transformed Lily's despair into a laser focus, terrifying determination to shatter the rules that were designed to protect the corrupt and punish the innocent. Complicating this desperate fight for survival was the shockingly toxic, increasingly tyrannical opposition coming from Lily's own flesh and blood, her brother Devin Winters. Instead of standing shoulder to shoulder with his sister in the desperate race to save Malcolm, Devin allowed his deep-seated, historically bitter paranoia and visceral hatred for Kane Ashby to completely blind him to the catastrophic reality of the situation. Devin's descent into a controlling, dictatorial mindset has been nothing short of tragic to witness. He actively attempted to thwart Lily's efforts, issuing severe warnings and aggressive threats, demanding that she abandon Kane to the legal system, entirely disregarding the fact that abandoning Kane meant signing Malcolm's death warrant. Devin's suffocating attempts to control Lily's actions, fueled by his own profound insecurities and hypocritical moral grandstanding, did not deter her. Rather, it served as the ultimate catalyst. Devin's betrayal of their family unity in this critical hour proved to Lily that she was entirely on her own, forcing her to realize that if she wanted to save her father, she would have to become the very monster her brother accused her of being, driven into a corner by the Newman Empire cruelty and her brother's suffocating tyranny. Lily Winters orchestrated a masterstroke of legal brilliance that will undoubtedly go down in Genoa City history as one of the most daring, audacious, and flawlessly executed operations ever conceived. Bypassing every legitimate legal avenue, Lily delved deep into the shadowy, dangerous criminal underworld, utilizing her vast financial resources and corporate connections to secretly hire a highly specialized, elite private tactical extraction team. This was not a reckless, spur-of-the-moment decision, it was a meticulously calculated, brilliantly planned military-style operation designed to exploit the vulnerabilities of the Genoa City Police Department. Lily knew that Kane was scheduled for a medical transport, a brief window of vulnerability where he would be moved outside the heavily fortified walls of the precinct. With ice in her veins and a singular, unwavering focus on the objective, Lily coordinated the ambush, fully aware that the moment the operation commenced, she would instantly transform from a respected corporate titan into a highly wanted federal fugitive. The execution of the prison break was a breathtaking, cinematic spectacle of tactical precision and overwhelming force. As the heavily guarded GCPD medical transport vehicle navigated the quiet, unsuspecting streets of Genoa City, Lily hired mercenaries struck with surgical efficiency. Smoke grenades suddenly flooded the intersection, obscuring the vision of the armed guards, while heavily armored tactical vehicles boxed in the police transport, completely neutralizing the authorities before they could even draw their weapons. The sheer shock and awe of the ambush left the police officers entirely incapacitated, allowing the extraction team to breach the transport vehicle and secure Kane Ashby in a matter of seconds. Inside the chaotic, smoke-filled transport, Kane was initially bewildered, bracing himself for an assassination attempt by Victor Newman goons. However, the realization that this highly coordinated, flawlessly executed military extraction was orchestrated by the woman he loved sent a shockwave of profound awe and disbelief through his system. Lily Winters had just moved heaven and earth, defying the law itself, to pull him from the abyss. The adrenaline-fueled getaway from the ambush site to a secure, clandestine airstrip on the outskirts of the city was a heart-pounding race against time. With the blaring sirens of the Genoa City Police Department echoing in the distance and Victor Newman private security forces undoubtedly scrambling to respond to the humiliation, the tactical convoy tore through the night. Inside the heavily armored getaway vehicle, the tension was palpable, thick with the terrifying realization of the massive legal and personal boundaries that had just been obliterated. Lily, coordinating the escape with the icy calm of a seasoned general, directed the convoy onto the tarmac where a sleek, fully fueled private jet sat waiting with its engines already roaring, ready for immediate takeoff. The transition from the chaotic, violent extraction to the sterile, high-stakes environment of the tarmac was seamless, a testament to Lily's brilliant planning and sheer financial power. Every second counted as they sprinted up the stairs of the aircraft, the heavy cabin doors sealing shut just as the flashing red and blue lights of the pursuing authorities breached the perimeter of the airfield, as the private jet rapidly accelerated down the runway and violently thrust itself into the dark, cloudy sky, ascending toward the safety of international airspace before banking toward New York. The overwhelming, suffocating adrenaline that had fueled the operation finally began to dissipate, leaving behind a profound, heavy silence in the luxurious cabin. The authorities were left scrambling on the ground, utterly humiliated and outsmarted by a woman they had deeply underestimated. Inside the cabin, the sheer magnitude of the situation settled over Lily and Kane. They were no longer just a former married couple navigating a complicated co-parenting relationship. They were now co-conspirators, fugitives from justice, bound together by a massive, undeniable felony committed in the name of love and family survival. The isolation of the private jet, soaring thousands of feet above the earth, created a surreal, intimate sanctuary where the deafening noise of Victor Newman threats, Christine Blair Romalotti legal wrath, and Devin Winter's toxic judgment simply ceased to exist. In the quiet, emotionally charged atmosphere of the aircraft, the complex, deeply layered history of Lily and Kane rushed to the forefront of their consciousness. This is a couple that has endured unimaginable heartbreak, devastating betrayals, tragic losses, and the relentless interference of outside forces over the decades. Yet, despite the scars and the fractured trust, the fundamental, undeniable gravitational pull between them has never truly been extinguished. Sitting across from each other in the dimly lit cabin, Kane looked at the woman who had just sacrificed her pristine reputation, her corporate empire, and her freedom to save him. He saw not just the mother of his children, but a fierce, unstoppable warrior who had literally waged war against the world for his sake. The profound realization of the depth of Lily's devotion, the sheer, terrifying lengths she was willing to go to protect him, shattered the final, lingering barriers of hesitation and regret that had kept them apart for so long. The emotional tension in the cabin reached an absolute, undeniable breaking point. The space between them, thick with unsaid words, shared trauma, and overwhelming gratitude, suddenly evaporated. In a moment of pure, unadulterated passion that will undoubtedly be etched into the annals of Genoa City history, Lily and Kane closed the distance, their lips crashing together in a desperate, fiery, and deeply profound kiss amidst the clouds. This was not a hesitant reconciliation. It was a desperate claiming, a visceral release of years of suppressed longing, and a powerful reaffirmation of a love story that refuses to die. The kiss was a silent, unbreakable vow, a mutual acknowledgement that they were in this catastrophic mess together, entirely unified against whatever legal or familial hellfire awaited them upon landing. In that singular, breathtaking moment, Lily Winters officially solidified her transformation. She was no longer just a desperate daughter trying to save her father. She was a fierce, unapologetic criminal for love, entirely consumed by the passion she had fought so hard to deny. While Lily and Kane rekindled their epic romance in the sanctuary of the sky, the fallout back on the ground in Genoa City was nothing short of apocalyptic. The Newman family, accustomed to wielding absolute, unquestioned power over the city legal and corporate infrastructure, was left reeling in a state of unprecedented shock and blinding fury. Victor Newman, the grand puppet master who believed he had flawlessly executed the destruction of Phyllis Summers and the imprisonment of Kane Ashby, was forced to confront the humiliating reality that he had been spectacularly outmaneuvered by Neil Winter's daughter. The sheer audacity of Lily's tactical strike against the police transport shattered the illusion of Victor's invincibility. Victoria Newman, who had smugly handed the fabricated artificial intelligence evidence to the district attorney, suddenly found herself facing the terrifying prospect of a massive, uncontrollable blowback. The Newman Empire had inadvertently awakened a sleeping dragon in Lily Winters, and their corrupt, calculated plans were now rapidly disintegrating in the face of her relentless, rule-breaking determination. Simultaneously, the Genoa City Police Department and the newly reinstated District Attorney, Christine Blair Romalotti, were plunged into a state of absolute, frantic chaos. The brazen, highly coordinated assault on a heavily guarded medical transport was a catastrophic embarrassment for local law enforcement. Christine, who had been gleefully preparing to prosecute her longtime enemies based on Victor fabricated evidence, was now forced to pivot her entire legal strategy to hunt down a high-profile corporate CEO turned fugitive. The sheer embarrassment of having a prisoner snatched from their grasp by a private mercenary team sent shockwaves through the justice system. Warrants for Lily Winter's immediate arrest were undoubtedly being drafted at lightning speed, elevating her status to the top of the most wanted list. Lily's actions had not only humiliated the police force, but had also exposed the glaring vulnerabilities of a legal system that had allowed Victor Newman corrupt manipulations to flourish in the first place. However, the most devastating, emotionally explosive reaction to Lily's daring prison break came from the very heart of the Winters family itself. When Devin Winters received the horrifying news that his sister had not only defied his strict, tyrannical orders, but had actually hired a tactical team to violently free the man he despises, his psychological state completely fractured. Devin's reaction was not one of concern for his sister's safety or relief that Malcolm might finally receive his life-saving transplant. Rather, it was a terrifying display of unhinged, dictatorial rage. Devin viewed Lily's actions as the ultimate, unforgivable betrayal, a direct challenge to his perceived authority as the patriarch of the family. The toxic hatred he harbored for Kane Ashby completely consumed him, blinding him to the profound love and desperation that had driven his sister's actions. The bond between the Winters siblings, already severely strained by Devin's recent courtroom betrayals against Abby and his suffocating paranoia, officially shattered into a million irreparable pieces. Devin's descent into absolute, uncompromising tyranny reached a terrifying new low as he vowed to use every ounce of his massive wealth, corporate influence, and personal power to hunt down Kane Ashby and bring him to ruin, even if it meant completely destroying his own sister in the process. Devin's inability to empathize, his refusal to acknowledge the ticking clock of Malcolm's mortality, and his obsessive need to punish Kane transformed him into the primary antagonist of Lily's harrowing journey. The sibling rivalry had officially escalated into a full-blown, catastrophic war, with Devin positioning himself directly against Lily's happiness and Malcolm's survival. The tragedy of the Winters family dynamic was fully realized in this moment. The legacy of love, unity, and resilience that Neil Winters had painstakingly built was being torn apart by Devin's bitter, unrelenting vindictiveness, setting the stage for a confrontation that will undoubtedly tear Genoa City apart. As the private jet began its final descent into the sprawling, illuminated skyline of New York City, the intoxicating adrenaline of the escape and the euphoric high of their passionate reconciliation slowly gave way to the terrifying, sobering reality of the medical and legal nightmare awaiting them on the tarmac. The journey was far from over. In fact, the most critical, life-or-death phase of the operation was just about to begin. They had successfully evaded the authorities in Genoa City, but they now had to navigate a heavily monitored hospital environment to perform a complex, highly sensitive bone marrow extraction and transplant under the constant, looming threat of federal apprehension. Malcolm Winters' life was still hanging by a fragile, fraying thread, and the success of this entire, catastrophic endeavor rested entirely on Kane's ability to undergo the medical procedure before the authorities inevitably closed in on their location. The stakes were astronomical, and the margin for error was absolutely zero. Ultimately, Lily Winters' shocking transformation from a respected, law-abiding corporate executive into a fierce, unapologetic fugitive has fundamentally and permanently altered the intricate power dynamics of Genoa City. By crossing the ultimate line, Lily has proven that she possesses a terrifying, relentless strength that rivals even the most ruthless tactics of Victor Newman. She has cemented her legacy as a woman who will burn the world down to protect the people she loves, fully embracing the fierce, untamable spirit of Drusilla Winters. As Lily and Kane prepare to face the monumental medical challenges and the inevitable, crushing legal consequences of their actions, their rekindled romance stands as a beacon of hope amidst the chaos. They are no longer just fighting for Malcolm's survival. They are fighting for their own future, united against a world that seeks to tear them apart. The war has only just begun, and Genoa City will never, ever be the same again.